What is going on, Internet? Welcome to the first edition of the completely unnamed uh, podcast. I literally have no idea what I'm going to call the podcast yet, or how many episodes I'm going to do, or even how often I'm going to do it. Um, I also don't know how many videos. So, in case you don't know, I'm recording this as a video so I can break it down and make it audio content for this podcast that I think that I want to have. I'm going to test it out using Spreaker, like a bunch of guys that I know are doing, and we will see how that goes. So I don't know frequency. I don't know how often it's going to happen, but I hope it doesn't suck. That's the most important thing. As far as the videos, as of right now, I'm going to do the videos whenever I do an article. And instead of doing the video after the article is written, I'm going to do the video before. So essentially, all my videos are going to be Cliff Notes versions of my articles that I hope people like. Check me out on Eat Sleep Fantasy. It's a fabulous website. I just said fabulous. I can't sound any more ridiculous than a grown-ass man saying fabulous. Anyway, check me out on Eat Sleep Fantasy. I write for them. I also write and post on Medium, and I'm going to be doing podcasts and some more videos. So hope you guys like it. If it sucks, tell me it sucks and I'll quit doing it. Anyway, so I'm going to do a Cliff Notes version of my articles with these videos and the podcast, and this is going to be for the week 12. I really hope this is week 12. My week 12 article. I want to start doing an article called the Fantasy 316 because my name's Austin, and Austin 316 was this thing that Stone Cold Steve Austin did, and I was a huge Stone Cold fan back a million years ago, and it felt like it was good with the name. So anyway, the breakdown for Austin's Fantasy 316 is this. I'm going to give you 3 quarterbacks and 8 receivers and 8 running backs. So 8 and 8 is 16, so you get 3 and 16. What makes this unique is going to be that I'm going to try and find 8 good receivers and 8 good running back options for you and for myself. And then 3 options for quarterback outside of the normal top 10. Everyone does top 10 lists. And for the most part, if someone's going to be in the top 10, you probably already have them. In a 10 or 12 team standard league, you may not have one of these 8 or one of these 3. So these are not going to be your cookie cutter normal viable versions. So let's go. We're going to start it off with the quarterbacks. This hurts my soul because all 3 quarterbacks I ended up picking this week are quarterbacks I don't particularly like, even though one of them is the quarterback for a team that I root for. So your 3 quarterbacks are as follows. Derek Carr for the Oakland Raiders. Let's face it, whether you like Derek Carr or not, they are winning, and he's playing fairly decently, and he has tools. So whether or not Gruden gets rid of him when they go to Las Vegas, he is the quarterback for right now, and the guy's playing his ass off. Quarterback number 2, Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll isn't terrible, but the Washington Redskins are, and that's who they're playing. So I expect for him to be able to throw all over them, and it shouldn't be an issue, which means there should be some points scored in fantasy. That's all we really care about. Option number 3, Kyle Allen of the Carolina Panthers. They're playing the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are going to throw the shit out of the ball because that's what Drew Brees does. And when they do that, the only way to stay in the game is to keep up. So I expect the Saints to score a lot, and I expect the Panthers to be behind and trying to catch up. So they're going to have to throw the ball to catch up. I don't particularly see there being a lot of running. Well, there will be a lot of running because they've got Christian fucking McCaffrey, and he runs the ball a shit ton, but they can also throw to him. So that makes this the perfect storm for them. So I expect them to be behind and running with McCaffrey and throwing to McCaffrey and throwing to DJ Moore and the receivers they have. We'll see how that goes. Next up, I've got my 8 the 8 wide receivers. So once again, we're going outside of the standard top 10. So I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley, who has seen an uptick in targets since Mohamed Sanu left. Also, Jarvis Landry, as much as I don't like the Browns right now, they got to throw the ball to somebody, and they're clearly never going to throw the ball to Odell Beckham Jr., so they've got to throw it to Jarvis Landry. DJ Shark, whose name I can't say without hearing the Baby Shark song in my head. DJ Shark Jr. has done great for Jacksonville. There's no reason why he shouldn't continue to do so. Amari Cooper, if I said that he wasn't going to catch passes, that'd be ridiculous. I mean, they don't have a lot of options. And he is the best option they have. So Dak is going to throw the ball to him, and that's all there is to that. They're playing New England. I don't know if they're going to win the game. I don't know if it'll be a high-scoring game. Probably not with New England's defense. But I think that New England's defense is kind of dissipating and weakening a little bit, and there's potential for some points to be scored. Next wide receiver is going to be Kenny Galladay. If Driscoll's going to throw the ball, he has to have someone to throw it to, and Kenny Galladay is that somebody. So if I'm going to predict that Jeff Driscoll does good, then I have to say that Kenny Galladay will do good as well. Coming back, DJ Moore. Like I said, DJ Moore, if I think Kyle Allen's going to do good, he's throwing the ball to DJ Moore a ton. So that makes DJ Moore a viable option. And John Brown, I mean, when your quarterback comes out and says that you're pretty much the best teammate he could hope for, I think they have a really good rapport in Buffalo, and John Brown doesn't look to be slowing down. So John Brown is the 8th receiver, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's only 6. So, crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 7. I knew I had done math right. With that being 7, as much as I don't, I'm a Bears fan, and I really, really, really am not a huge fan of Trubisky, but the most viable option on that team is Allen Robinson. And if Trubisky is going to play, which as of right now it appears he's going to play, then he's going to throw the ball to Robinson a lot. We'll see how that goes. He's got the most targets on the team, so he should very well be a good option right there. And now, finally, to the actual running backs, which I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, I did it again on this list. Number 1, we're going to go with Josh Jacobs, because he's been balling all year. I mean, he's done a great job this year, so I expect for him to keep doing good. Derrick Henry balled on the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. He seems to kind of have their number when they play, and neither quarterback is that great. I mean, Ryan Tannehill is a good game manager. I'm assuming he's still playing. Mariota is not, because Mariota is terrible at football. So they're going to have to run the ball, especially with the fact that Delaney Walker probably still is not playing. Even if he is, he may not be 100%. Next option is going to be 3 is Jalen Samuels. Jalen Samuels has done really good this year when Connor has not been in, and he's done fairly decent when Connor has been in. So we will see how that goes. I expect for Jalen Samuels to be a very good option in the game. 4, James White. Let me just go ahead and double down right now. The New England Patriots don't have a lot going on for them except for Tom Brady and Julian Edelman. Their running game from week to week is not what we want it to be. If you banked hard on Sony Michel being that number 1 receiver, number 1 running back that got you a whole lot of points, he hasn't always done it the way you wanted him to. So with that being said, I think that the tandem of James White and Sony Michel are going to be the best options this week for the Patriots. I expect there to be a lot of running by both of them, but with James White being the passing down back and Sony Michel being the goal line back, I've got to say They should be the majority of the New England Patriots offense this week. So that's what I'm looking at with them. Next up, I'm going to go with Mark Ingram. I don't think you can stop the damn Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they're great on all three sides of the ball. They're great passing, they're great running, and they're great defending. So, I mean, it's really, really hard to say they're not going to do good. And Mark Ingram has put up good numbers. He's averaging, 10 points a game. And it isn't the best, but I mean, if you're looking outside of the top 10, 10 points isn't bad. And last but not least, we're going to go with Kareem Hunt. They're playing Miami. Like, you can do whatever you want to Miami. Although I will say this, which isn't really part of the segment, but I do think that Miami's defense is going to benefit by playing Baker Mayfield, who's probably going to throw 2 interceptions, one of which gets run back. But you can run all over Miami, and I expect for Nick Chubb to be in the top 10 of the running backs. So Kareem Hunt as the number 2 there, maybe the future number 1, we don't know. He should have a great, great day. So that is 1, Josh Jacobs, 2, Derrick Henry, 3, Jalen Samuels, 4, James White, 5, Mark Ingram, 6, Sony Michel, 7, Kareem Hunt, and 8 is going to be Joe Mixon. After the cluster that was the Pittsburgh game last week, I do not know how great they're going to do. Mason Rudolph is not playing great, so I think that there's a potential that the Cincinnati Bengals could be in this game. It will not be a blowout. It won't be some one-sided victory. So they will be in a position where they can use Mixon to run the ball. And that's what I expect to happen. I couldn't tell you, it's a coin toss in my opinion, who wins that actual game. But with that being said, Mixon's the guy who's going to get all the groundwork for that team. So on goal line attempts, he's going to be the guy. When they're killing time at the end of the game, if they manage to be up at some points, if they're up before the half, they're going to run the ball, and it's going to make him a very, very viable option. So I was looking to keep this at 15 minutes or less. I'm right at 13 minutes, and we will see how it goes. Thanks a lot for listening and watching. And if you want something more than this Cliff Notes version of this article, look below in the video or on the podcast page, and you can find a link to my article on Eat Sleep Fantasy. So until next time, see you later. Thanks.